Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to share my Oakensoul DK PvP build for the High Owl patch. There will be two versions of this build. One will be for no CP and the other one will be for no CP and no proc. This build today was requested by Levi, and if you have any builds you'd like to see or have any suggestions, please let me know. And here we go. So starting off in the character sheet, these are going to be the same for both builds. We have 58 points in a Magicka and 14 points in a health. As far as race goes, I am a Dark Elf for this specific build, but something like Imperial or maybe even like Bren would be just fine. So moving on to food, we're going to be using Orzaga's Bear Haunch as our primary choice. This is because it gives us health and the Magicka and stamina recovery, all three of which we need. And if you want a cheaper option, Jewels of Misrule is just slightly worse, but it's still pretty much the same thing. For consumables, you have two options really. The first one is going to be using minor heroism pots. These can be made by combining Columbine, Dragon Blood, and Dragon Reum. What this does is it gives us stamina, Magicka, and minor heroism. The minor heroism is going to allow us to cast our ults more frequently and thus giving us more resources as well because of the DK passive. Furthermore, a cheaper alternative would just be running tri-stat potions. These are going to give you 3 of your resources back and would work just fine as well. So for the version with no CP, we're going to be running 3-piece Potentates paired with 5-piece Plague Break, 1-piece Trainee, 2-piece Bloodspawn, and Oakensoul Ring. So breaking it down, we have a Potentate Sword with the Flame Damage enchant traded in Decisive. On the offhand, Potentate Sword with an increased weapon damage, also in Decisive. For the head and shoulders, we have a Bloodspawn Visage, which is going to have a Tri-Stat Glyph in Heavy and Reinforced. For the shoulders, we have Bloodspawn Epaulets, which is going to be Max Mag, Light, and Well Fitted. And then for the chest, we have a Trainee Chest with a Tri-Stat Glyph, Heavy, Reinforced. For the body, we have 4 pieces of Plague Break, all with Max Mag except Tri-Stat on big pieces, so legs, and Plague Break comes in medium armor, and 2 is going to be in pen and 2 is going to be well fitted. For the jewelry, we have 1-piece Potentate's jewelry infused with a Magicka recovery glyph, a Plague Break jewelry 1-piece Swift with a Magicka recovery glyph, and lastly Oakensoul ring Swift with a Magicka cost reduction glyph. So for no CP, no proc version, we're going to swap out Plague Break for Shulk Exoskeleton. So breaking it down, we have a Potentate Sword with a Flame Damage enchant traded in Decisive in the main hand. In the offhand, Potentate Sword again with increased weapon damage in Decisive. For the head, we have a Bloodspawn Mask with a Max Mag enchant in medium and well fitted. For the shoulders, we have Bloodspawn Epaulets, Max Mag in light, well fitted. And for the 1-piece Trainee, we're going to be doing the Sash, which is in light armor with Max Mag and Impen. And for the body, we have 4 pieces of Shulk, 2 Tri-Stats on legs and chest, and Max Mag on the rest. This is going to come in heavy. And for the trait, we're doing 1 Impen, 1 well fitted, and reinforced on the big pieces, so legs and chest. So for the jewelry, we have 1-piece Potentates with Magicka recovery with the trait infused. And for the second piece of jewelry, we have Shulk jewelry with a Mag recovery glyph in Swift. And lastly, Oakensoul ring with a Magicka cost reduction in Swift. So for skills, first up we're running Empowering Chains. This can be a flex spot. I'm running Empowering Chains because it gives you Empower, a small bit of damage, and Major Expedition. Next up is Flame Lash, our spammable. It'll heal and be super cheap when enemies are either stunned or off balance, so that's a nice bonus. Next is Engulfing Flames, which is going to be a dot and increase the flame damage enemies take, and also has a little bit of initial damage. And the next skill is going to be Shattering Rocks. This is going to be our undodgeable CC that stuns them. Furthermore, when the effect ends, you get healed a little bit and the enemies take a little bit of damage. And lastly, we're running Coagulating Blood as our main primary heal. So this heals for a set amount and then heals for a little bit extra depending on how much health you're missing, and also gives you Major Fortitude. And lastly, for the ultimate, we're running Corrosive Armor, which is going to limit incoming damage to 3% and do a little bit of poison damage around you. And the strongest part about this is the fact that your direct attacks are going to ignore enemy physical and spell resistance. First up, I just want to clarify that if you're running the Shulk Exoskeleton, please don't use minor heroism pots because those buffs will not stack. Furthermore, the Plague Break version is going to have a lot more pressure and also better at dealing with groups than Shulk, but Shulk is going to be easier to keep up minor heroism, and instead you can even use immobility pots if you feel the need to. Furthermore, Shulk Exoskeleton isn't heavy, so we're going to be switching to primary to heavy, so we're going to be a little bit more tanky, whereas with Plague Break we're going to have to rely on dodge rolling and such because it's all in medium armor. For a simple rotation, you just want to keep them as CC'd as possible with Shattering Rocks and then Engulfing Flames and then just whip. Use Empowering Chains if you need to catch up or you need Major Expedition, and then whenever you have your ult Corrosive, either use it to take down enemies or to play defensively, because when you're in corrosive, it's going to take a lot of hits for you to actually die. And when I was testing these builds, I was getting about maybe 80% uptime on corrosive, so that's pretty strong. And on top of that, as a DK, you do get a bunch of resources back, so sustain is not an issue on this build. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. There's also a PlayStation Discord for those that play on PlayStation and want to become a member of this community. Furthermore, lately I've been doing all these builds on request, so if you have a requested build you'd like to see, please let me know, and Discord or comment section would be appropriate for that as well. And as per usual, attached will be a battleground game, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.